We've all heard the myth that humans only use 10% of their brains, but what if we could harness 100%? Would we become superhuman, or would there be consequences? Okay, let's get this out of the way right off the bat. The idea that we only use 10% of our brains is, to put it bluntly, ridiculous. It's a myth, a scientific fallacy. Think about it. Evolution, that relentless editor of the biological world, wouldn't waste energy and resources on a massive, energy-hungry organ like the brain if we only used a tiny fraction of it. The truth is, we use all of our brains. Different parts of our brain are active for different tasks. When you're watching this video, the visual cortex in the back of your brain is hard at work processing the images on your screen. When you're listening to my voice, the auditory cortex on the sides of your brain is decoding the sounds. And when you're thinking about the implications of using 100% of your brain, well, that's your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, kicking into gear. Brain imaging studies have shown that even simple tasks light up multiple areas of the brain. So, we're not talking about some untapped reservoir of brain power just sitting there idle. We're talking about optimizing the incredible organ we already have. But here's the thing. Even though we use all of our brains, that doesn't mean we're using it to its full potential. Think of it like this. You have a sports car, a finely tuned machine capable of incredible speed and performance. But you're stuck in rush hour traffic, only able to use a fraction of its power. That's kind of like our brains, capable of so much more but limited by the way we currently use them. So, what if we could find a way to push past those limitations? What if we could access the full processing power, the full creative potential, the full everything of our brains? That's the question we're exploring today. Let's say, just for a moment, that we could somehow flip a switch and unlock 100% of our brain power. What would happen? Well, the most obvious change would be a dramatic increase in cognitive abilities. We're talking about a world where the average person has an IQ that would make Einstein look like a middle schooler. Imagine a world where learning a new language is as easy as listening to a song a few times, where mastering complex mathematical equations is child's play, where you could read a book in the time it takes to flip through a magazine, and not just read it, but absorb and understand every single word. But it goes beyond just book smarts. We're talking about enhanced creativity, problem-solving abilities, and critical thinking skills. Imagine the inventions, the works of art, the solutions to global problems that we could achieve if everyone had access to this level of cognitive power. We could see scientific breakthroughs happening at warp speed. Cures for diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries could be discovered in a matter of days. We might even unlock the secrets of the universe, unraveling the mysteries of dark matter, dark energy, and the origins of the cosmos itself. And it's not just about what we could create externally. Imagine the internal world of someone using 100% of their brain. The depth of their thoughts, the complexity of their emotions, the richness of their inner lives would be unlike anything we can currently comprehend. But with great power comes great responsibility, as the saying goes. Would we be able to handle this level of intelligence? Or would it be too much for our minds, our societies, our very existence to bear? Now let's dive into the really speculative stuff, the kind of stuff that makes you question if you accidentally wandered into a science fiction movie marathon. Could unlocking 100% of our brain power give us abilities straight out of the X-Men comics? Telekinesis, the ability to move objects with our minds. Telepathy, the ability to communicate directly with other minds. Mind control. Okay, maybe that last one is a bit too far. The truth is, the human brain is already capable of some pretty amazing things. We've developed brain-computer interfaces that allow paralyzed patients to control robotic limbs with their thoughts. We've seen evidence of something called quantum entanglement, where particles on opposite sides of the universe seem to be instantaneously connected. So who's to say that telekinesis or telepathy is entirely out of the realm of possibility? There's a growing body of research suggesting that our brainwaves, those electrical impulses constantly zipping around inside our skulls, can actually influence the physical world around us. Now, we're not talking about bending spoons with our minds just yet, but even the slightest ability to manipulate matter with our thoughts would be a paradigm shift of epic proportions. Imagine a world where construction workers could assemble buildings with a thought, where surgeons could perform delicate operations without ever picking up a scalpel, where we could literally will ourselves to fly. It sounds like fantasy, but then again, so did the internet just a few decades ago. But here's the catch. Even if we could unlock these abilities, would we be able to control them? Or would we unleash a Pandora's box of unintended consequences? Imagine the chaos if everyone suddenly had the power to control the minds of others. It's a sobering thought, and one that we need to consider carefully before we go messing with the fundamental forces of the universe. Let's face it, not every superhero story has a happy ending. Sometimes, superpowers come with a hefty price tag. So what if unlocking 100% of our brain power isn't all sunshine and telekinetic roses? What if there's a dark side, a potential for overload, madness, or even worse? Imagine your brain, a supercomputer suddenly running at full capacity 24/7. The constant influx of information, the relentless processing, the sheer volume of thoughts and ideas could be overwhelming. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose of knowledge. You might drown in the deluge. And what about our memories? What if unlocking 100% of our brains meant remembering everything? Every awkward encounter, every embarrassing moment, every painful experience seared into our minds with perfect clarity. Could we handle the weight of our past, or would it crush us under the burden of total recall? There's also the question of mental stability. Our brains are finely tuned instruments, and even slight imbalances can lead to anxiety, depression, and a whole host of other mental health issues. What happens when we push those delicate systems to their absolute limit? Would we risk short-circuiting our own minds, driving ourselves to the brink of insanity? And let's not forget the potential for social upheaval. If everyone suddenly became a super genius, would we still be able to relate to each other? Would we descend into chaos as our newfound intelligence outpaced our ability to manage it? These are uncomfortable questions, but they're questions we need to grapple with if we're serious about exploring the full potential of the human mind. So, here we are facing the ultimate question. Is unlocking 100% of our brain power the next step in human evolution, or a one-way ticket to oblivion? The answer, like most things in science and life, is probably somewhere in between. The human brain is the most complex structure in the known universe. It's capable of wonders we haven't even begun to imagine. But it's also a delicate, intricate system that requires balance and care. Unlocking its full potential will require more than just flipping a switch. It will require careful consideration, ethical boundaries, and a deep understanding of the potential consequences. But let's be honest, the allure of the unknown is a powerful motivator. The possibility of tapping into a hidden wellspring of knowledge and ability is too tempting for some to resist. And who knows, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's that insatiable curiosity, that drive to explore the boundaries of what's possible, that will ultimately lead us to a greater understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit. Perhaps the real question isn't whether we should try to unlock 100% of our brain power, but how we can do so responsibly. How can we ensure that this newfound power is used for good, not for harm? How can we prevent ourselves from becoming slaves to our own amplified minds? Ultimately, the future of human evolution is in our hands. We have the power to shape our own destiny, to decide what kind of species we want to be. Will we use our intelligence to create a better world for ourselves and future generations? Or will we succumb to the same greed, fear, and short-sightedness that has plagued humanity for millennia? The choice is ours. Choose wisely. So what do you think? Would using 100% of our brain be a gift or a curse? Would we become benevolent gods, or would our own intelligence be our undoing? It's a question that has captivated philosophers, scientists, and science fiction writers for centuries, and one that we may finally have the tools to answer in the not-too-distant future. But for now, it remains one of the most tantalizing mysteries of the human experience. The brain, that 3-pound universe inside our skulls, continues to hold secrets that we're only just beginning to unravel. And as we delve deeper into its mysteries, we're bound to uncover even more questions, more possibilities, and more reasons to be both excited and terrified by the sheer potential of the human mind. What do you think? Would using 100% of our brain be a gift or a curse? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, keep looking up.